Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997, and I'm back this time with my review of the G.I. Joe Retaliation Conrad Duke Hauser figure. Or if you prefer, the Ultimate Duke figure. We've been getting quite a few of these Wave 3.5 figures called the Ultimate version of whatever character it is, and a lot of people are just calling it the Ultimate Wave, which is honestly a lot better than naming it Wave 3.5. But surprisingly, for a line that has Channing Tatum as a big character and already had a bunch of Channing Tatum toys done from the last movie, this is only our second Duke figure, unless you count the little driver that was masked they just called Duke. So technically third. I wasn't thrilled with the first figure, or the second, if you want to get technical, don't like the pilots. But this is a very nice looking Duke. He's got a very real world looking uniform on that's pretty accurate to the movie. No stupid gimmick, no giant grapple launcher, no parachutes aren't that stupid of a gimmick. I kind of like those, but no zip line, none of that crap. Tons of guns. Best accessory you could come with for a G.I. Joe. Also, he comes with an alternate head, looks like, which is really nice. And the, he came out in this wave as well, but the Data Viper's little aerial surveillance drone is in here. Of course, rebranded for G.I. Joe. On the back here, him in some very nice poses, and his read-up says, Conrad Duke Hauser uses an aerial attack drone to track down evil Cobra forces. The drone spots the enemy, and Duke loads up with a full arsenal of weapons to launch an attack. So, not too much to say about the box overall, let's open him up. And here we have Ultimate Duke out of the packaging. Now man, did this guy come with way more gear than I thought. He came with a whole slew of guns that you could not see in the packaging. And that's just fantastic. He came with 2 knives, of course, AK. Very, very, very nice. I thought Lady J had a ton of guns when I reviewed her. He's also got a handgun and a knife tucked back here. Now I'm really liking how I've got him holding the drone like he's about to toss it. But you can also pull those two off like with a Data Viper. Like little mini shotguns. It's the exact same drone as that came with the Data Viper. It's got this nice little gear wing system. Honestly, it looks like almost the exact same paint scheme until you get down here and you zoom in. If the camera will focus on that. Come on. Why won't you focus? And I'm not Duke down for no reason. There you go. You see it says attack drone. It's got a backwards US flag. It's very nice. Pretty much the same color though. It's just lacking the Cobra logo. Got that little little write-up on it. But and also Duke is obviously wearing another helmet that I couldn't see in the packaging. So pulling this gun out of his hand. This is his alternate head sculpt. Kind of a full-on military gear, but much like with the pilot Duke. You can't really tell it's Duke once it's on, and at first I was like, okay, I'm going to switch it, keep the other head on him, just, for differentiate, change stuff up in my display. I actually really like this helmet. Not so much the color, but it really makes him look different. Fits nice and snug around his ears. Good stuff. So, putting him back onto his base. If I can get the foot peg up in there. Really still missing that double foot peg on these bases. Like I said, really digging the helmet. And I think more than a lot of G.I. Joe figures in the past, even the the version of Duke that tried to be straight up standard military, this guy captures a much more modern day military feel. He's got kind of a light camo on. It looks like all the gear is there to serve a purpose, which is very nice. Not exactly 100% accurate to the gear we see him in the movie, but close, which is always good. Now, let's pull his head off and pop his alternate head on, which there we go. Still a very nice looking figure. Now as far as his articulation, the head moves nice and freely, full 360 up and down. Arms run a ball joint, go up, do a full 360, spin and bend at the elbows. They have a hinge for the wrist, but it's the way his sleeve is designed is kind of fighting the wrist, restricting a lot of the wrist movement. Now, most of his articulation in his abdomen is given up for the vest. If you want to, you can pull the vest off. It's the same, generic camouflage underneath. I think he looks much better with the vest, though. Legs go forward, back, and out. Double joint at the knee. They have an ankle joint. Oh, wait. That's a nice surprise. They actually made the joint right there at the pants instead of the actual ankle. And, looks like it pivots. That is a nice little surprise for this guy's articulation. Very well hidden, too. That's definitely a point in this guy's favor. Get a lot of nice crouching firing poses. So, despite the fact you had to give up a lot of the articulation for the vest, the ankle articulation definitely makes up for it. Now, let's get him back on here. Come on. Get on your peg. So, I'm going to swap the head sculpts out again, just for what I'm about to do. Now, the previously released Duke figure, which is right here, and did not come on that base, I really didn't like. Even when I look back at my review where I say I don't like him, I think I went way too easy. If this was a Duke from a different line, maybe a futuristic kind of a Duke, I would be okay with it. But it's not. It was the first Duke we got from the movie line. I wasn't crazy about the armor, I wasn't crazy about the look, I hated how his weapons were colored, and I definitely hated the big stupid action gimmick. This Duke, much more real world, much more modern military. I think that's a very nice figure. What we really should have gotten as our initial figure, and this could have come along as the line was fizzling out. Maybe it needed a gimmick to keep the kids' attention. This guy comes with the only gimmick I care about, which is a ton of guns. And a very nice little accessory that was reused from the Data Viper. So, while that Duke is probably still clogging up stores, and the fact that this line is very, very hard to find, and you might have to go with that other one if you don't want to pay online scalper fees. But this is just a great figure. It's a great move for the line as far as real-world military. It fits in with a movie. It hits a lot of points really well. It's got a lot of nice gear. That being said, even though Duke is a character I can imagine a lot of people will pass on, I highly recommend picking this guy up. And this is JTrain997 saying I'll see you soon, YouTube.